All right, crafters. Big D, Ray, we are live.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. So, what are we talking about tonight? We're going to talk about a couple things. First, some channel updates. I was working on a painting demo this week for my Death Guard, and I come to learn something about my camera. Whereas my camera is really, really good for doing streaming. It's not very good for doing close-up shots and trying to do painting tutorials. So I had to dig my old camera out, and I didn't realize until after I'd already painted a bunch of figures. So I pulled my old camera out of mothballs, and I'm gonna still be doing a painting tutorial on Death Guard, and then doing one for my wolf, my space wolves, which I'm doing with this guy. But they're probably going to be pushed back for about a week, mainly because I have a couple other build projects that I've got planned out. I'm trying to build up and get ready for Arms on Parade. So I have a couple boards from the Dominion. I don't know, the Imperial City boards. There's it's a set of 6 boards. They're 2 foot by 2 foot boards, and there's 6 of them. I got 6 of those boards, and they were gifted to me. Hello, Reed. And I'll be painting those up. I may do a tutorial on when I do those, only because I'm going to be painting with my airbrush for the most part. So maybe I'll be talking about airbrush techniques and painting large surfaces. I also got some new paints from TurboDork. There's some lovely color shifting paints. I got them specifically for my Imperial Guard army that I'm working on. I'm going to be painting the knights that go with that army and the vehicles that go with the army. So it's 3 tanks, a Chimera. I think that's the only vehicles I have for that. But I'm going to be painting those with those TurboDork color shifting. Luckily, I got them in 3 different shades. So the knights are going to be done in a much darker color of the color shifters, and I'm going to be doing the vehicles in a lighter shade. So I might do a product review of those. I'll probably paint up a couple spoons with some black primer, and because it's really one of those things that's kind of hard to explain or show.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really translate over onto the camera very well. It's one of those things you kind of got to see them. So I'm going to talk about how many coats you got to do in that kind of thing. So that's coming. I'm also building a couple bunkers. That's actually the next scatter terrain tutorial I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
I'm building some bunkers. So there's some blocking terrain and some elevated shooting terrain. I want to start building up so we can do, actually, if I can use the city board that I just don't have, because I've got the chemical, the MDF kits with the chemical cans, and I've got the scatter terrain I made a couple weeks back. So the next step is to actually put some buildings. So I want to do some bunkers. I'm going to use some of the other terrain I've got, because like Kill Team came with one of the Kill Team sets came with a couple of the Imperial bunker lines, and then the Zone Mortalis comes with a bunch of stuff, and then I've got the Sector Frontieris. I've actually got almost 2 full sets of Sector Frontieris. So, SpongeBob, good evening. First off, question to both Reed and SpongeBob, since you guys are here. How do I sound? Can you guys hear me okay? Because that's been part of the other problem we've been having, is that the sound for this. Hey, Nick, how do I sound, Nick? You were a big part of last week getting things tuned up. Does this sound okay now? I've really had to mess with some of the sound settings to get things straight. All right, cool. Good, good. It's a little crackly. Yeah. It's the one thing. It's a webcam. It's good camera, but it's touchy. And unfortunately, because this is my main sound system, I've got external speakers. So when I'm playing my music, because I have external speakers that have a bass kick and a lot of other things to it, things seem really loud to me. So I have to actually put headphones on and listen to things that way to be able to tell the sound when I'm doing recording. So it looked like I had everything tuned good before I came on live, but it is what it is. So yeah, I've got a lot of projects up and coming. I mean, I've got a lot of figures to build. My experiences building these guys with the Spellcrow add-on pieces. Really, I'm so impressed with add-on pieces. Something I've never really had a lot of use for. I've always been like, I'm not really big on third-party pieces for Warhammer bits. My opinion has totally changed. These Spellcrow bits are so nice, so fabulous. I love them to death. I love the detail. I love the fact that they integrate with regular pieces and work really well. And you look at these figures, and unless you're intimately knowledgeable of Games Workshop stuff, these just look like regular figures. And because I'm using some GW bits with them, they just look like, slightly modded figures. So I'm going to be looking at Spellcrow a lot more in the future. And Ray actually picked up a couple of squads of their equivalent of Imperial Guard.
Yeah.
So we're going to probably build them up. And, that's part of the game.
We're having internet. Yeah.
I think we're good. We're good. So yeah, having some third-party bits, it's not bad. I wouldn't go 100% third-party for everything, but I think mixing them up and using some third-party bits, I think that works out. Yeah, I will actually. We're gonna actually, when Ray gets them in, we're gonna reveal them. Role-playing board games like that. Yes and no. I don't know really many single-player role-playing games, but I do know of a couple really good single-player board games.
Actually, Horror.
I actually have one of them right up there. Why don't you go grab that? My All Out War box.
I was gonna say Mansions of Madness.
Mansions of Madness, Arkham Horror. Those are pretty good. And then there's this game, which is really fabulous for single player. And I've actually painted the figures up, and I'm using them in something separate. But this, the Walking Dead All Out War game, it's actually designed. Mantic designed this game beautifully. It's designed for 1 player to 4 players. So, and this plays really well. There's a number of really good single player board games out there. I almost want to have you check. There's another YouTube channel that I'm a really big follower of. It goes by Tabletop Minion is the name of the channel. Uncle Adam's the guy who runs that channel. And he actually did, I want to say about 6 months ago, he did an episode about single player board games. And all the ones that he did, he had personally played and reviewed, and they were really, really good. So that would be the first place I would look.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would look at that video. I really, like I said, I really have a lot of respect for him and the work he does. He does good stuff, and he's a gamer. I mean, he's a gamer first that got into it. So,
I'm trying to think of.
see, the problem is because I have enough single player video games that when I look for a board game, I look for multiplayer games.
Yeah.
But there's a couple out there. I mean, Mantic's produced a couple of them. It's become a big thing now where you've got, I want to say, there's another game that's very similar to Zombicide.
Yeah.
Actually, I think you can play Zombicide single player. I think Zombicide has a single player variant in the rules. And again, the nice thing about that game, about Zombicide specifically, because the bad guys, because the people you're fighting are entirely mechanic driven, you just take them and you go with them. So, and I love Zombicide. I think it's probably one of my favorite board games. It's definitely top 5 for me.
Eldritch Horror. Is just a few of the games that I've played. I'm just looking through.
Eldritch Horror, okay.
The Lord of the Rings card game. It's like a trading card game that all comes in one box set.
That's a constructed deck box, isn't it? It's a constructed deck game?
Kind of. It's weird.
Yeah. Some of my friends, I was at a barbecue a couple weeks ago, Labor Day weekend, and I was talking to a bunch of the old school gamer guys that I hang out with there, and they were talking about that. They were talking about the Lord of the Rings card game because apparently they play that a lot.
Pandemic. Pandemic's another really good one.
Pandemic's a really great game. I'm going to be honest with you. I would not want to play that game one-handed because it takes too much strategy out of the game.
Fair.
But I mean, just talking as a game. I mean, even if you just play a 2-player, Pandemic is a fantastic game. Another probably, if I go over my top 5 games, I would honestly just board games. I would say, my number 1 game all time is Terraforming Mars. Now that really is a 2 to 3 player game at a minimum, but that's a fabulous game. But then Zombicide, Zombicide, Dead of Winter. I got a thing for zombies. I like zombies. So
Terraforming Mars can be played 1 player.
Terraforming Mars can be played 1 player. If Terraforming Mars can be played, if there's rules in the box for playing a 1 player, I would say go for it. That is such a good game.
Gloomhaven and Arkham Horror too.
Oh, Gloomhaven. I can't say enough good things about Gloomhaven.
Gloomhaven's really good.
Gloomhaven. And if you don't want to buy the box version of Gloomhaven, I just learned earlier this week that it is the company ported it over to Steam, and it's $30.
Really?
You can buy Gloomhaven on Steam for $30.
Okay.
USD. So Gloomhaven is a fantastic, absolutely fantastic game.
Oh, yeah.
As a miniature guy, as a guy that paints and a guy that builds, the game is fantastic. I mean, the game comes with so much good stuff in it. So, yeah. I mean, I'm all about games. I mean, if you couldn't tell, yes, I love 40K. But, I mean, you look at the wall behind me, the wall directly over my shoulder is just my 3rd edition D&D stuff. I just packed up all my 2nd and 1st edition D&D stuff, which was another shelf. It's the shelf above it that I've got all the stuff on right now.
Yeah.
Right below that is all my World of Darkness stuff. Yeah, all my World of Darkness stuff. The shelf over Ray's shoulder there, as you can see, that's all my.
Is that Exalted?
That's all my Exalted stuff. So, I mean, I love role-playing games. So that's what got me started doing this. Let's be honest. That's what really got me started in the whole gaming thing. Wargaming, something that came with it, but
yeah,
I was a role player first. So, all right. So stuff we're building, stuff we're working on. We talked about that a little bit. I got a lot of figures working on. I've got a couple of projects I've got working on. Like I said, I'm working on some bunkers. I've got an idea for some really cool bunkers that are very reminiscent of the bunkers that GW used to make way back in the early 80s. I mean, early 90s, late 80s. Hey, please stop futzing.
No.
GW used to make these really interesting resin kits of bunkers. And after seeing their last big resin kit, they built I guess it was like a 2013. They had a huge fortress. It was like a $1,500 kit. That was just this huge resin fortress. It was probably like 50 pounds of resin, and that box was 1 table's worth of terrain. So I've been wanting to build like a fortress and some combat terrain and like that. So I'm going to start with a couple bunkers to go with the two trenches I have. And teach people to do that. I also am going to be working on stuff for my, like I said, my Armies on Parade. So I want to do some frost terrain. So I'm going to be building like some ice spires and some ice blocking terrain, some ice hills. Yeah.
Snowy battlefields are always the coolest.
Yeah. One of the things I've been thinking about, because I built that one kill team board, I want to build a couple more, but the problem is that, well, it's really not a problem, but a kill team board is 24 inches by 30 inches. The idea when I built the one I built with Lady Dragon was that we were going to use it for her display board for Armies on Parade this year, for her jungle-based witches. Armies on Parade board maxed out at 24 by 24. Yes, Nick, that is the fortress. That is exactly the fortress we're talking about. Yes, the gate was big enough to drive a Baneblade right through the front gates.
Jeez. The hell?
Spiky Bits, actually, the guy that runs Spiky Bits got a copy of it on loan and did a unboxing and piece. It was just talking about the kit. And yeah, it's huge.
It's beautiful.
Here's the thing: $1,500 worth of resin. I can replicate most of that with about $20 a foam board.
There he goes.
So we're gonna try rebuilding lots of that.
Looks like the stream is lagging.
Yeah, we're just trying it. It's fine.
Look at what you've done.
So that being said, yeah, we're going to be rebuilding that fortress, or at least pieces of it. Please tell me we didn't lose full connectivity.
No. Looks like we're still connected. It just... Internet is really bad.
Which is funny because we pay for a really fat stream.
Nah. It's bad. And it should feel bad about its life. Oh, it moved. Dude, bro.
Anyhow, so yeah, I wanna do that fortress, and or at least parts of it. And like I was saying, is that a kill team board and a Warcry board, they're 24 by 30. Armies on display board are 24 by 24, which is the same size as a single tile from their battle zone boards. So unfortunately, can't use the kill team board as a display board for Armies on Parade.
Yeah.
You're checking, all right. Can't be our connection. We have a
Oh
connection.
yeah, it's still going.
All right. Well,
It is. No, it definitely is our kind of our connection. So yeah, just keep going. Mick says he can still see us.
okay. All right. So, like I said, I've got the Imperial Zone boards, so I'm going to do one of them up, and I'm going to probably stick my wolves on that. Or I'm going to do the ice board. I'm going to do it for the wolves. I've got it. I want to do these boards anyhow. I could probably do up one of those Imperial Zone boards and put my Death Guard on it. I don't know. I've got the biggest problem with having so much creativity and too many things going on.
Might just be your Chrome, dude.
Might be.
Yeah, because the stream still looks great.
Okay, well maybe my Chrome crashed. Maybe we'll come right back. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I got another. We can save for that one. I don't know what's going on though, dude. Oh.